This is Ray with School of Racing Graphics, and in this demo video I'm going to walk through Racing Graphic Bundle Pack 5. This is the newest graphic set on SRGFX.com, and I'm going to show you the layout that I created with it and all the different things that come with the zip file. So if we take a look inside the folder, you're going to see an Adobe Illustrator file, Corel Draw, EPS, FlexiSign, PDF, Photoshop file, SVG, some legacy files for Adobe Illustrator, Corel Draw, and FlexiSign. So these are if you have an older version. We do save these in FlexiSign and Corel Draw. So we open them, make sure that they work, layer them correctly so that you can get in there and pick through it. You're not going to open it up and find a huge mess. It's actually pretty well organized for each native design software. Also comes with the required fonts for editing. These are commercial free. You can use them completely commercial free. So yep, you don't have to pay to use those fonts. All right, so going back to the file. So basically we have a base wrap graphic here. This is what everything here is pretty much based off of is this guy here. We have a winner's check that's completely editable. So anytime you see anything that says like live type on the website, you can highlight it and change it as long as you have the fonts that are included in the pack installed. Same thing with this Demo Derby plate here. It's 18 by 24 scaled down. So you can obviously change the size of it, mess around and play with it if you'd like, but you can change the number on it to whatever you would like to using the included font. And again, another sponsor template. So we could change the sponsor template to say something completely different, make a few minor adjustments, and then make the template work with basically any text that you want to. Framing, this is all things that you can edit. We got here this graphic here that's a culmination of all these kind of like pinstripey style of graphics. I call this a vortex graphic. It's got like a circular oval type of shape with energy coming off of it from spikes and things like that. So that's kind of how I think of that. And then we have a bunch of base graphics. These could be used in the center of a t-shirt as the hood, nose graphics, things like that, something centered up. I typically like to always create one that shows it cut off so you kind of get a framework or an idea of how it will work on the bottom of a car or a fender or something like that. So I'm going to move forward with the placing this into a wrap design. So this is primarily what I used when I created this modified layout. This modified layout will be available soon on the website. You'll be able to open it, remove the graphics, add a different number, change the colors, all that kind of stuff. So I chose to go simple. So you can see here really simple lines based off of the entire graphic here. But you could, just take this and bring it in and then place it however you want to get the spikes where you want them to be. So, I always think of things as a number trap and how to get the most contrast. And so I'm just going to kind of strategically place it in to wrap around the number, but still get the spikes. I don't particularly like the yellow in there at this point, maybe on a different design, but you can see it just swoops down. It brings in a nice orange color. You get the points. If you had a different sponsor in here, it might show these points a little bit better, which is something I prefer. If I have points and spikes on my graphic and there's not very many of them, I do like them to be visible. So I try to maneuver the graphic in a way where you can see those details. You can also reflect it, right? And put it back here. So now the spikes look like they're coming up from the back, right? You get a little hidden behind that sponsor. So most of the time sponsors aren't that big. I like making the sponsors that big, but a lot of times you're going to find them something more like this. So you can see there, move that down. And then I would change the colors to these so that they have a little bit more contrast. I'll just move this to the side for now. But you kind of get the idea. And then maybe some more sponsors could fill in here over the tire, and you would probably end up with something also over into the sail panel. And so without making a lot of tweaks to it, you can see you get quite a few options out of the graphic just by moving it around and placing it strategically. This is definitely not something I would land on and stick with, but you can kind of see the potential for moving it around and messing with it. can size it down, trap the number out like that, and then bring it down here like so. Kind of get yourself a whole nother vibe going. Something like this. And just keep maneuvering it around and playing with it. Delete that out. And so you can see there's quite a bit of potential. And you can also take this, for instance, and like, let's say you want to go back to what we were originally doing here. Kind of get the spikes in the front and then get those simple lines. But then you're kind of wanting to get a little bit more out of it. You can also take and duplicate, send it to the back, right? And then size up just a little. We could turn this blue and then turn this one light blue like that. And then you end up with this kind of like orange trap here in the middle, where the graphic now is the orange trap in the middle there, something like that, right? And then I would probably mess with it a little bit to clean this area and this area up. But when you bring it in, you see it still actually works pretty well. Or you could take this guy here, turn it white, and now you got the white going into the gold, going into the orange. Gives it a pretty nice clean feel. You can see the potential in it, but definitely areas that you would need to block off and clean up. Okay, so that's just one aspect of the graphic, right? Turn that to a darker color so there's a little bit more contrast. And so let's delete that guy out. You can also bring in this guy here, or even one of these. This is that same shape. You can kind of see it there, but this is simplified into like a pinstripe look. But I could bring this guy in, right? And pop him on the bottom like this. And I always like to give one little bit of a cutoff right there and right there so that you could just grab these two and pull them down and get them to use up whatever space you want them to use up. So if I turn it white and then place, we can actually go ahead and place some fills on this and expand them. So I'm going to do, we'll do an orange, and then we'll do a light blue, something like this. I'm going to go ahead and expand the orange one. So I'm not working in life size right now. So I'm going to go to Effect, Path, Offset Path, and we'll just go 2 pixels for now, see how that looks. And that's, let's see. I'm going to just crank this up to 100. Preview that. And let's see. Drop this here. So now I got the orange going, and then I'm going to offset this 3 pixels. And now you got the white to the orange to the blue. And when I bring the numbers and everything back in, you can kind of see how it all starts to work together. And again, if I just bring this guy back to where it was originally, it might look somewhat more natural, right? And so there's a lot of potential. So you can also take that same graphic, right, and then reflect it like so. Kind of give yourself a whole nother kind of shape with it. Bring it up just a little bit. And now you got this white graphic here working in the middle. And you can take the white and turn it dark blue. And now you got that there. And again, it's something worth playing with. You have to experiment with it. So maybe I would do something more like this. That, and then cut this off here. Duplicate that, reflect it, and pull it up there like so, like that. And that gives me kind of a whole nother shape and a whole nother vibe to it. And then if I want to trap it out with the orange, instead of having it be blue, I could turn it the orange color. Right, and that kind of gives it a lot more pop. You can play with it, kind of see what your options are. And then let's see here, turn this one the dark blue color like so. It gives you a lot of options. Again, I would play with it more and kind of maneuver it around a little bit to get the most out of it. And obviously sponsor placement is really important. So getting everything maneuvered around in a way that is conducive to the design is super helpful. So I'll just move that up there, change the color of it so I can get back to it if I need to. Change that to white. And then everything is built with global colors. So if I want to, for instance, change the orange, I should be able to take it and make it green. Green will not print that bright, so you're gonna have to tone that down. Okay, and then again, I could do it with this one. So grab that orange and then turn it green. And so now I got more of a predominantly green car. And we'll turn that the green color. And then that dark blue could be black. And now I'm getting a car that's got a like a completely different vibe, and you can move this around to try to kind of fill in some of that space there. And if I don't like exactly how that fits the space, I could take and duplicate this guy. And let's say I just need a spike, right? So I'm going to take that, just cut through it with the eraser tool, and throw this into my graphic styles now, because I technically had built a style. And I can fill in a couple little spaces so that I don't have that blank space there. So let's see. Clip it like that and then reapply the style. There we go. Can do more like that. Maybe size it down a little bit. And even double up on top of your colors like so. So you got a lot of options, a lot of different things you can do and play with. I've got it posted, this car here, in the portfolio, and again, that one will be available. This here, I'm just kind of freestyling with. This isn't something I would particularly land on or post, but you get the idea that you can see the potential of the graphic without going too far or having to work too hard with it. And if you like to get something a little bit more simple, so let's go ahead and just delete this out. Let's get back to our blue color. Okay, and I just want to have like a simple, two-tone car. I can bring this in here like this. Like so. And now you kind of see that detail kind of coming through right there. That looks pretty neat. Like to me, even that has the potential to be a wrap in and of itself, even though it's really simple and there's not a lot of complexity to it. It would really stand out on the track to just have that graphic just like that as a simple way to be able to read the numbers. But if that doesn't satisfy you, we can turn it white. And then we just got to make sure that we're pulling this in, and we pull this in, and I'll pull this up just a little, so if we want to get the two-tone, we can. And then go ahead, let's pull that in just a little bit more, because I'm going to want to knock it out. Now, usually before I knock things out, I take them and I duplicate them so I can get back to base if I need to really quickly. So I duplicate that and then knock that out. And then here we got a white, and then we can go to blue. And now you can see the real potential there in the graphic. Now you just change maybe some of your sponsor colors so that they will stand out on the car, maybe adjust this shadow, the graphic. But you get the idea there, is that there's a lot of different things that you can do that will work. And so take this and maybe turn it orange like that. There's a lot you can play with, and a lot of different things you can do. And then I can take this guy here and add another little detail. So maybe I want to get some more of a lighter blue in. but without it completely dominating the design, right? Like so. And maybe that's too light. Like maybe it should just be something that's a little more subtle. I'm gonna flip it around, try that out, see what it does. Nah. Okay, so maybe I'll turn it this color, and which is the same color there, and then just turn it down just a little bit. Okay, bring that in. Like so. And because these are not curving the way that I want around the graphic, maybe I would just come and grab some of these guys and really simplify things, right? Make it easy on myself to be able to work around with what I've got already in the graphic. So bring him in. And so it's like you can already, with this vibe, it's a totally different color vibe. You can already sense like a Miller, kind of a Miller Lite kind of car, right? It looks more like that. But these little touches here will they won't overdo the wrap. They won't like, it's like not every detail needs to be an intense detail. So you just bring in a subtle detail. It really helps move the wrap along while keeping all the sponsors and numbers readable. So I don't like this little loop here and what it's doing. So I might take that and like hide it in there. And I'm never afraid if things are like landing behind things to cut it off, right? So there it is. It's back there. I can kind of see it. I could move it up like that, kind of take a look at it, see what it looks like, experiment with it like so. But see, that's hidden behind the number. So I don't even mind just cutting it off and getting rid of it, right? And then I can throw this here. Now watch behind the number there. So now I have the blue coming down here, which gives it just a little organic feel. It's not supposed to I'm not trying to get it to fit perfect. Just kind of give it a little bit more of that blue detail. And then I can just simply delete that out. And then it's hidden behind the number. And you can play more with that up here in this blank negative space. But you get the idea. So going back to the file, you can see you have a lot of options to work with. You could do something with this and place it in there, change it to a different color, change the text, go through and modify basically everything to fit your wants and needs. So this graphic, if you're a premium member, it's free with a monthly coupon. And then you'll be able to get this wrap layout here as long as you have purchased number set 27. And you only need to purchase it once, and then whatever wrap layout that has used it becomes available. If you're not a premium member, wrap layouts are $35 with buying the assets that are required to get that layout. But as a premium member, the wrap layouts become free as long as you have purchased the required assets, which oftentimes are going to be free because they're going to be the graphic that you use your monthly coupon with. So if you guys have any questions, you can always hit me up at ray@srgfx.com or go to srgfx.com/support. And I always get back to you within 12 hours. So appreciate you guys watching the video. If you have any questions, just let me know.